Hello, and welcome to another episode of Focus on Hope. We have our guest today, Christy Nelson of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and Julia Dean, a Big Sister.
Yes.
Tell us about your organization.
Oh, wow. So much to tell. It's a very exciting organization. Well, it's actually, we are the Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters agency, one of about 200 Big Brothers Big Sisters agencies. That
Nationwide or worldwide?
Nationwide.
Okay.
Correct. And we cover Yavapai County, so that's the Quad Cities of Prescott area. And then I am the program manager for the Verde Valley office based in Cottonwood.
Okay.
So that covers all the Verde Valley communities. So, but yeah, it's an exciting position and organization. So what we are is we are the largest mentoring organization for children nationwide. And what that means is we pair at-risk children within the community with responsible mentors, typically adult mentors, but sometimes we'll have high school-based bigs.
Oh.
So we call our mentors bigs,
Uh-huh.
and we call our littles, the kids involved in the program, littles.
Okay.
And what we do is we interview volunteers to be bigs. It's rather intense interview process. We want to understand the person's values, their upbringing, their experience with children, things like that. We do a background check. We do a DMV check because we want to make sure that the people mentoring our children the kids are going to be safe with them.
Yes.
Child safety is our #1 priority. And what we do is we also then interview the littles and their families to kind of learn what their situations are, where those children have the greatest need, what their interests are, and then we pair the big and the little based on those common interests, geography, things like that. And a lot of our matches last a very long time. We ask for a 1-year minimum commitment from our bigs. We ask that they spend a minimum of like 10 to 12 hours a month with a child, and that can be doing pretty much anything, just day-to-day activities, grocery shopping, cooking, washing a car, could be getting out in the community. And a lot of our bigs expose our kids to new adventures that they never would have had if they weren't matched.
Yeah.
And Julia here is a big sister for her little sister Amanda, and I'll let Julia tell you a little bit about her experience as a big.
Yes. Tell us about your experiences.
Well, I started Big Brothers and Big Sisters in January of this year, and the interview process was a big eye-opener.
It's intense?
It was intense.
Okay.
They sent a lady, came out to my home and grilled me with 100 million questions, but the questions had a purpose. She wanted to know where I came from, what my life experience was, and how I felt about children, and what I thought I could bring to the table. And then there was a big, massive computer learning system, which I think if I would have went to the Big Brothers Big Sisters, they probably could have given me hard copy paper to fill out if I had needed it. But that took a little while to do. And at one point, I couldn't do the computer right, and I made one phone call, and it was instant gratification over the phone. They walked me through the computer program to get it right back online.
You have to be computer literate?
Not to become a big, but I chose to fill out the questionnaires online.
Okay.
And that was computer based, but I'm sure there's hard copy you could fill out for them.
Okay.
If you weren't computer literate. And the minute I got on the phone, though, somebody called me right back and got me squared away, as far as completing all that paperwork. And it was a lot of paperwork. And
hours?
Yes, it did. It took me 2 or 3 hours, possibly
for
longer,
training.
For the training.
Okay.
Everything, because I had to complete I had to complete one interview, a bunch of training, and then a third interview, which I met your counterpart that left, not Jeremiah, maybe Jeremiah, but we went to a restaurant, and that was a face-to-face, easy, short interview.
Okay.
And then came the interview with the family to meet my little.
Mm-hmm.
Were you nervous?
Yes. I was very nervous. I drove up, and I have no directional sense, so I'm not the perfect big, there was no demand for perfection, but I came with ideas of what I was supposed to be. And I went in and I met my little, and I met the little's mom, and I met Jeremiah. And
Jeremiah
was Christine's counterpart, I think.
Yeah, Jeremiah is what we refer to, and I part-time are match advisors.
Okay.
So what we do is we provide ongoing support for all 78 of our matches in the Verde Valley. So we coach the bigs, we coach the littles, we coach the families on how best to communicate, how to address problems before they get to be big problems. And I'm not saying there are a lot of problems by any means. It could be something as easy as making an appointment with a little to go out and do something. Sometimes, littles have cell phones themselves.
Yeah.
But their phones get turned off, so then sometimes the big will get excited and say, I can't get hold of my little, so then they call the parent. It's just smoothing out things. And that's why we look for support. We offer our support. We're constantly checking with our bigs and the families just to make sure everything's good, everything's safe. We offer suggestions for different activities, things like that. And just let me touch base on her training.
Okay.
One of the things, it's all online. It's actually not all that challenging. Sometimes what happens is some of our bigs will try to get it through the wrong or through a different browser. So some will use Internet Explorer, whereas Google Chrome might be the best or is the best browser to use. So, sometimes it's just a matter of saying, oh, you're using the wrong internet app. So things like that. But that's what we're here for, is to make it all as seamless and easy as possible. And really, the exciting part is the match. And I just, I also am a big sister.
Oh.
And when I was anticipating meeting my little for the first time, it was almost like being pregnant again. I was like, what's she gonna look like? What is she gonna laugh about? What's her voice gonna sound? I just was like, it was just very
anticipating.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, what are we gonna talk about? It was just so intense, and I don't know if it was the same with you.
It was very similar. Yeah. What is she gonna want to do? Is she gonna like me? Is she gonna like what we do? Is she gonna like what I want to do? What does she want to do?
Right.
What if we have no idea? And the what ifs.
Yeah. So what do you do? Tell everybody what you do with Amanda.
We go swimming, we go hiking. This upcoming Wednesday, we're going to Slide Rock. I have never been to Slide Rock.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And she was there many years ago. We have found that we do better one-on-one versus, at one point I think I took two people with us, and it was not as much fun. We were divided.
Okay.
But like the hiking, I took her, into Sedona, and we went up, I think it was called Sugarloaf, and snapped pictures, and meanwhile I was afraid, oh my God, she's gonna fall off the rock, get over here, if we do this again, I'm bringing a rope.
Yeah.
But I was snapping pictures, and I would send pictures to her phone, I'd send them to her mother, this is your daughter next, and it had the name of the hike trail next to her, and then I took a picture of her up on the rock. Very, very easy. The whole primary focus was, what's good with Amanda in keeping her safe. That's my biggest fear, is something, bad happening while we're out. But the program, she's I have insurance cards or copies, of stuff to take with me. I keep in my wallet that if something ever were to happen, it would be a phone call and, off to the hospital, which, would not, that's worst case and not happening.
How old is she?
She is 11.
Oh,
and
11.
In 5th grade, long brown hair, big brown eyes.
She's beautiful.
A little string bead. And when I first met her, really very quiet. She was feeling me out.
Yes.
But she talks a lot more. She has opened up. I mean, if she has a question about anything, she's brought up stuff, and I just listen. And if I don't have a reasonable, calm answer to give her, I let that go. And I've called Big Brothers to the mentors, and and brought topics up, and they've checked it out, and there was never any confrontation or animosity with between me and the family or what was going on. I pretty much looked at my role as being a friend, someone for assurance and trust.
So you're not, you don't take the role of a replacement parent.
No, I am not Amanda's mom at all.
No.
And her mom is lovely, but that my job, I look at my job as just being her friend, someone she can trust no matter what. I keep the judgment at the door. When I'm with her, it's all about, hey, what would you like to do? Let's have some fun. Let's relax and enjoy. And if she needs to bring up something that isn't fun, then that's fine too. But it's calm. It's calming.
It is.
You spend about 10 to 12 hours a month with her.
I do. I had like a really bad month and a half of my family visiting, and I was not able to see her. And at that point, I started feeling guilty and carrying a lot of baggage, and then I was afraid to call. And when I finally was able to call and make appointments to see her, it was easy. The family didn't hold it against me. Amanda did not hold it against me. My little was just happy I was there. And that was nice for me.
Wow.
Exactly.
The relationship has gotten me out of my house, out of myself. I'm a couch potato. Well, little kids don't like being couch potatoes. So she gives me a reason to stretch myself and explore.
Oh, wow.
And that's not the purpose of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. It isn't all about the big. And but she just gives me a reason to be out and about.
And that's actually what I hear from a lot of bigs, is they feel in some ways they've gotten more out of the relationship even than their littles. Now, let's kind of circle back. The purpose of the program really is to help these at-risk children, which the great majority of them come from single-family homes or single-parent homes. Single-parent homes. And, lower income. So, we have parents and guardians who are very concerned about their kids, connecting with the wrong children. So they look to our program really to guide their children, show them alternatives to their, maybe their current living situation. And that's really what it's all about. And it's amazing how some of these kids just blossom. They come into the program, some of them, because I do children interviews, and they come into the program and you see their living situation sometimes, and you're just like, how do these kids really make it in these situations? But then you meet the kids and they're so bright, they're so positive, and so incredibly excited at the idea of getting a mentor.
Wow.
Because they, in their hearts and their heads, they know that there are other opportunities out there. They just need to be shown the way.
Okay.
And that's what our mentors do. You know, we have mentors that sometimes take their littles flying. We have mentors that take them on train rides. They take them camping. They take them to the Grand Canyon. It's amazing how many kids locally haven't been to the Grand Canyon unless their mentor takes them. So they do open up their worlds. They coach them through things like how to deal with peer pressure, you know, drugs, whatever. I mean, I don't think you've encountered much of that yet, thank God. But we do have some littles that are confronted with things like that with their peers, and yet the mentors help guide them through that. So a lot of our kids come out so strong, and we have matches, even though we ask mentors to commit to 1 year minimum. We have some matches that have lasted 6, 8 years, where the mentor goes to a wedding, a college graduation. It's just incredible to see some of these kids, how this program benefits them. And so a couple of things I want to talk about, if it's okay, is our current needs.
Okay.
We currently have 78 matches in the Verde Valley. For the entire organization, including Prescott, we have about 450 matches.
Wow.
But, you know, here, given the, you know, the coverage of your show and my responsibility for the Verde Valley, I'm going to focus on the needs here in the Verde. And as I said, we have about 78 matches. We also currently have 45 kids waiting to be matched. 45 kids. And the really, really big need is with boys. We have so much difficulty finding male mentors to be bigs. We have 29 boys waiting, 29 of 45 kids waiting. The other challenge is geographical. Here in Camp Verde, we have 24 kids, not only boys, 24 kids waiting to be matched, 24 out of 45.
Wow.
And that's just in Camp Verde. So it is so important for us to have bigs for our kids, and I'm hoping that this show will bring visibility to our, you know, the challenges we're facing as an organization with matching the kids, but also to give a sense of how thoroughly enjoyable it is to mentor a child. You know, I'm not going to say it's 100% easy, okay? But it is so incredibly rewarding and satisfying to help kids overcome some of the issues they face. So one of the things I'm going to ask is if anybody out there can consider being a mentor, that would be fabulous. They can go on to azbigs.org, our website, and you can register there just to, you know, put in an inquiry, and you'll be followed up with. We can give you more information. More information.
Say it again.
azbigs.org.
Okay.
Okay. They can also contact me at our Cottonwood office. I'm C. Nelson at azbigs.org. The other thing we need is donations.
Yes.
I
was wondering how the thing was funded.
Yeah, we receive private donations, we receive grants, and corporate donations. And the reason why donations are important is because it costs us $1,000 per child per year to support a match. So that $1,000, what that looks like, where that comes from, is it's our screening process. So it's the interview, it's running the background check, it's running the DMV check, and then the interviewing process. Then once the match is made, there's the ongoing support. So as I said, I work as a match advisor. I work closely with the big, the littles, and the families to help them through any issues that might arise, offer suggestions for activities. Sometimes our families have other needs outside of the big relationship. Such as food, you know, how somebody might lose a job, other resources in the community. So I also act as a referral to other agencies in the community or resources. So that $1,000, it's a year per child.
Child.
That's what that all entails. And so we're looking for donations to help with that. And to do that, we have some fundraisers coming up. For example, we have our annual gala in Prescott at our, that's actually led by our main office there. It's November 22nd.
What does that comprise?
So what it is it's actually a black tie gala.
Oh.
And it's $150 per person to attend. The dinner, there's a big presentation, there's a silent auction. So people can either come individually, or you can get a whole table of 10 for $1,500. Or if someone likes, they can just make a donation, or they can donate art, or some products for the silent auction. We also have every year this is a national event, is our Bowl for Kids' Sake event. It's our largest fundraiser, especially in the Verde Valley. We do it every year at the Shake, Rattle, and Bowl over at the casino. And it's in March and February, so we are looking for bowling teams and fundraisers for that, people to actually make donations and pledge for the teams. And it is a lot of fun. And I don't know, have you been to Bowl for Kids?
I have
not yet. Okay.
When is it?
February.
Yeah, I don't have the dates yet, but it's in February and March.
Okay.
And it's an adult-only event. So what we do is, if we ask that people, if they can be a captain for a team, that they have 5 people per team. Each team member, we ask that they get $150 in pledges in order to bowl.
Okay.
But yeah, it's huge. And then they come, we provide pizza,
Sounds like fun.
It is a lot of fun. And we have a lot of bigs there, and they bring their friends, and we have corporate sponsors who will, as they do sponsorship, or they will have teams, like Walmart last year. They had several teams. They had about 6 bowling teams there. It is a lot of fun. So that's another event. And then the other thing, this is a really big one too, is our tax credit.
Okay.
What I'd like to do is talk about the tax credit a little bit. For the working poor tax credit, an individual, what they can do for this year, if they donate $200 for an individual or $400 for a couple, if they do it as a tax credit to our organization, since we're a 501(c), they get all that money back as a tax credit when they file their taxes. They do not have to itemize. Now, the confusion is that some people say, well, I already do a tax credit for my child's school. This is in addition to that. You can do both.
Okay.
So I want to make that aware. So basically what happens is they make that donation to our organization, and they get the whole $200 back with their tax return.
Okay.
So it's telling the government how they want their tax dollars spent. So that is very huge for us, and it goes a long way to supporting the matches that we have and getting new ones. So.
Julia, how much money has it cost you as a big sister?
Very little. Very little. Her mom will actually offers to supply money for her, but I don't take it. Dinner, a milkshake. We cook at my house. She helps me cook, and it hasn't cost, I'd say, less than $10 over 5 outings.
Wow.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's not expensive for me. This is not, I'm on a budget, and able to do this easily. I would say less than $10 a month.
Do you get feedback as to how you're getting along with your little?
You can tell. I can tell if she's happy or not. I mean, she's 11 years old. She has not developed the stoic look
Of a teenager.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, when I call Amanda, she has only wonderful things to say about Julia and their time together.
And I meet Amanda's mom. For me to go out with Amanda, I call Amanda's mom.
Okay.
You know, and Amanda's mom gives me Amanda. I discuss with Amanda. Amanda throws out some ideas on what she'd like to do. I say yay, and then let me talk to your mom. And Mary is her mom. Mary says, sure, no problem. And she's always happy. You know, if Amanda wasn't happy, her mom would know.
No.
And her mom would tell me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how long has Big Sisters, Big Brothers and Big Sisters been in existence?
Well, as a national organization, about 90 years.
Wow.
And then here are our Yavapai Big Brothers Big Sisters. It was started by our current CEO 42 years ago. Yes, it is a passion for her.
I understand
She's
that
very
you.
vibrant.
I understand that you too are a big sister.
Yes, I'm a big sister, and I'm actually new to the organization, just 4 months.
Wow.
So I have big plans for this organization. And I'm very excited, and I'm very excited that you had us here today. Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. They have couples and family contacts.
Yes, so what we do is we do one-on-one matches.
Okay.
Typically same-sex to same-sex, unless some situation suggests that a child should be, actually I shouldn't say this, a boy can sometimes be matched to a female big. Like in my situation, I have a little brother, and that's because his mother passed away.
Okay.
So, but we wouldn't match a little girl to a male mentor. What we also have is couples matches.
Oh.
So a couple can be paired to a young one, either a boy or a girl, or a family match. A whole family can take a little.
Wow.
And that's a lot of fun.
Lot of work.
Because then they include them in their family
Yes.
activities. And we have a few of those. Couple things I want to talk about too, in addition to that, the screening process. We've had questions, people have said, okay, I'm homosexual. Can I be a big? Or they assume they can't be a big. They can be a big, okay? Even a criminal history. If it's long enough in the past, they're keeping clean, you know, legal-wise and chemical-wise,
Yes.
I'll say. We will consider them as long as their crime was not against children.
Okay.
That will exclude them. But it never hurts to ask. We are in need of bigs, but we will make sure that
Yeah.
the bigs are good for our children.
Yeah.
But I just want people to understand that things way in the past, we also believe people can overcome their situations, which is why we're in business, because we're helping our kids overcome their situations.
I understand that you've done some work for Kids at Hope.
We've done some. We started working with Kids at Hope.
Explain Kids at Hope.
Kids at Hope. It's changing. It's changing the idea of kids at risk to Kids at Hope.
Okay.
So it's a philosophy change. They also have a number of activities. They have things that we're just starting to work with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're developing a close relationship.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank you.
This has been another episode of Focus on Hope. I hope you join us next week.